Welcome back to Timeless Classical Beauty. Today, we are not merely visiting a palace. We are stepping into the very heart of French history, a place where centuries overlap and time seems to breathe. Before you stands the Château de Fontainebleau, often called the home of the ages. Unlike Versailles, which was built to proclaim the absolute power of Louis XIV, Fontainebleau tells a different story. Versailles was designed to impress the world. Fontainebleau was designed to be lived in. Here, kings did not only rule, they reflected, rested, and faced the weight of their own decisions. As early as the 12th century, Fontainebleau became a favored royal retreat. Surrounded by an immense forest, it served as a hunting lodge where monarchs escaped the rigid formality of court life. In the quiet of nature, far from Paris, power could finally exhale. Over more than 8 centuries, nearly every French dynasty left its mark here. Medieval kings, Renaissance monarchs, and emperors of a revolutionary age all passed through these halls. Yet among all these names, one figure left the deepest imprint on Fontainebleau. That man was Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte. Look closely as light floods the famous horseshoe staircase. This Renaissance masterpiece curves outward like an open embrace, both welcoming and commanding. It is a stage of power, where history's most influential footsteps once echoed. Kings, queens, generals, and foreign ambassadors all ascended these steps. Each footfall carried ambition, triumph, and the quiet fear of being forgotten by time. Here, ceremony and destiny walked side by side. Step inside, and you are drawn into the gallery of Francis I, stretching 64 meters in length. This gallery is a declaration of French Renaissance brilliance. Carved wood panels merge seamlessly with frescoed walls, where myth, power, and beauty coexist. Golden light dances across every sculpted detail. Francis I did not design this space merely as a corridor. He created a procession of authority, where art itself became a weapon of prestige. But where the Renaissance celebrated beauty, the empire demanded obedience. The true heart of Fontainebleau under Napoleon beats within the throne room. Pause for a moment and observe. Deep red velvet and gleaming gold dominate the space. These are the colors of power, of fire, of war, and of blood. Napoleon transformed what had once been royal bedchambers into the seat of his throne. This was no accident. By placing his throne here, Napoleon declared that he was not merely inheriting France, he was redefining it. The letter N and the golden bees Symbols of immortality and discipline appear everywhere, meticulously embroidered into carpets and drapery. Massive crystal chandeliers cast a brilliant yet cold light. They illuminate not only the splendor of empire, but also the solitude of the man who ruled it. For the higher the power, the deeper the isolation. Now, we leave the ceremonial spaces behind and move into quieter, more intimate rooms. The grandeur fades. What remains is humanity and fate. On April 6, 1814, history changed direction within these walls. Inside a modest room known as the Salon of Abdication, Napoleon signed the document that ended his reign. No drums, no applause, only silence, heavy with the collapse of an empire. Imagine the weight of that moment. A man who had conquered most of Europe. A military genius who reshaped the continent. Now forced to surrender his crown and accept exile on the island of Elba. Yet Fontainebleau holds one final, unforgettable scene. We step into the Cour des Adieux, the courtyard of farewell. Here, Napoleon delivered his last goodbye to the old guard, the soldiers who had followed him without question. He kissed their flag, embraced his men. Tears were shed, not by an emperor, but by a man who knew his era had ended. In that moment, power dissolved, leaving only loyalty and memory. Fontainebleau is not merely stone and gold. It is a witness to the fragility of power and the vulnerability of greatness. Where glory reaches its peak, tragedy often begins in silence. Today, the palace still stands, radiant, yet contemplative. Visitors walk slowly through its halls, as if listening for echoes of the past. Fontainebleau reminds us of a timeless truth. Empires may fall, power may fade, but beauty, memory, and human stories endure far beyond their age. If you enjoyed this journey into history and wish to explore more stories where beauty and tragedy intertwine, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, and turn on notifications so you won't miss the next episode of Timeless Classical Beauty. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again in the next chapter of history.